I'm just going to be lucky. Man, I got to try to do everything I can just for me to make it. Wow. It's getting tough out here. And that's where most people are right now. Most people's in that kind of state that they're losing the vision and the drive and the hope. They're losing it. They're losing it out because why? They need to learn to admit that they've become captive. They need to learn to admit that Satan has got the upper hand. They need to learn to admit that he has got in and scarred and wounded and got the heart in the shape that it's in. That we're pondering not the paths of God, but just a simple path to get out of this misery. We're pondering a path of just to get into heaven, to get out of all this trouble, all these situations it's about, and everything that's happening. But I'm thankful that tonight God wants to help us. I'm thankful tonight that He wants to help us get our heart and understand the importance of knowledge. Understand the importance of understanding, to getting these mysteries, to get our vision, our heart, and our drive back. Getting all this. I'm going to close with this. It's Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 through 4. And it's about vision. It's about vision. And I think most people have lost their vision. They've lost that vision because they've become captive and don't even realize that people are captive. And that's what we talked about last night in Bible study. People today don't even realize that they've become captive under Satan, and he has pulled them back because of scars and situations in life, and telling them, if you better stay back, because if you move up there, somebody's going to say something to you. Somebody's going to jump on you. And they may do it. And people may jump on you, and they may come at you. And yes, they will at times. But if you can have the knowledge to let it be like water on a duck's back, then it won't scar, then it won't hurt. Because how many people you think come at Paul? How many situations came at him? How many situations come at all the prophets? And why was Jesus able to keep going? Because he had the knowledge. He had the understanding. He had the spiritual understanding to be able to look at people on the spiritual side and not on the carnal side. Oh, he could have sat down and argued with them all day long. He could have. He could have sat down and argued right and left with them. And I guarantee you he'd have won every argument he wanted to argue. But he knowed he didn't know it no need. He knowed who to talk to, he knowed who not to. He knowed the situations. But Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 1 through 4 says this: I will stand upon my watch, and I will set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. It's the thing that John has been teaching about faith, the things that we got to hold on by faith. To believe that God is going to do what he says. But whenever we move out for the vision, or we move out to do things, here comes Satan and scars. It's the people or the person that comes at you and says the things to you that scars you. Or it's the thoughts that we ponder. It could be things, like we said, not even true. Many times it's things that's not even got no truth to it. It could be pure lies that Satan's created that creates wounds in our heart, creates scars in our heart, and will pull us back into a state that the easiest thing we want to do is sit back. And it's called captivity. Captivity of Satan, that he pulls people into. That they don't want to step up, they don't want to step out, they don't want to move forward because they don't want no more wounds, they don't want no more situation, they don't want no more scars, they don't want people to jump on them. They know if they get up there and lead a certain part that some ain't going to agree, and they may say something to hurt them, or they may say a situation. But Lord, if they had the knowledge to see spiritually, it would just go like water on a duck's back. Because if Jesus can look at His own people He created and say, God, forgive them, for they know not what they do, then surely to God we can look at people and see them spiritually and let it be like water on a duck's back like He did, and go right on just like nothing happened. Surely we can learn about people and see the truth of the situation and see the real spiritual side of it and move forward with what God has. Because Isaiah scares me, 13 and 14, that without knowledge you become captive, and then hell is enlarging itself because of captivity. Because people are pulling back. What does that mean? They're not fulfilling that one area, the will of God. Well, wouldn't that be something if you get up there to the end and you attend church every service and you go 7 nights a week? Go to church 7 nights a week, but you sit back in your little corner, but you won't teach because you don't want to be scarred. And you're going to be one of them knocking on the door, but saying, but God, I went to church 7 days a week. Why won't you let me in? Only those who do the will of the Father can get in. You let the enemy put you into captivity, and that's when the truth's going to come out. That's when God's going to show them, say, look here. Remember when this person scarred you? You remember when this person said this to you and it scarred you? Do you remember? You do, don't you? Remember how it pulled you back to where you said, I ain't going to do that no more because I don't want to be scarred? Or how we'll get up and sing a song and then come Monday, everything goes all to pieces and the whole world crashes in on us and we say, well, I ain't singing no more. See, I know Satan would come after me. That's captivity. That's captivity. That's what it happens. And what is it? It's a lack of knowledge to not understand how these things happen and how to defeat Satan and how to use the armor to protect that heart. And it pulls us back and we say, ain't no need me sing no more, because every time I sing, man, the next day Satan hits me with everything there is. Every time I step up and do something or get in a play or do something for the Lord or say something good to people, man, the next day Satan's on my head and it's just all to pieces. It ain't worth it. I'll just sit back and write it out. I'll just sit back and just attend church when we have church services, and I'll sit back there and I'll just write it on through. But are you captive if you're doing that? Be honest to yourself, because the truth will come out. You can do nothing for the truth but the truth. Are you captive today? Is Satan caused you to be in a captive state? Why? Because he gets to the heart. And he causes us to ponder paths and ponder situations. And we begin to think about how all these people are against us, or Lord, how all these people don't want to hear me sing, or they don't want to hear me play no instruments. They don't want to hear me do this or that. If God called you to do it, you'll be fine. Do what He said. No matter who comes against you, no matter what happens, what you need is knowledge. If you are in captivity, what you have is a lack of knowledge. That's all you need is knowledge. And you need to ask God for knowledge so that you can get these visions back, so that you can write them down and realize that they're going to come true, and be patient with faith and realize that they will come true, the things that God promises. Everything that He promises will come true. If we can be patient and go forward and obey and not fall into captivity. But how many in the church today has fell into captivity? How many today has fallen into a captive state, a state of bondage, that the enemy has bound down people, that they're afraid to come out of their seat and do what God asks them to do. They're afraid that what this is going to say or this one's going to do that's going to wound their heart. It's going to say something to them that's going to get another scar, another wound started, another situation stirred up, or another problem stirred up. Best thing I can do is just sit over here and be quiet. Oh, Lord, I know You're telling me to go do this, but if I get up, it's just going to stir up more trouble. I'm just going to sit over here and be quiet. Is that a captive state? If the Lord's telling you to do something, is that the enemy